I'm Levi, and these are my BMW 735 ILs. So as you can see, I have two 1991 BMW 735. This one is an IL, and that one over there, as you can see in the barn, is an I. So this one, the IL, has a longer wheelbase. I believe it has some extra luxury stuff on it. So they're obviously project cars. Don't worry about the two flat tires on this side. I have another set of rims and tires for it. They're just, obviously I'm parking in the snow. Why wreck a good set of rims, pretty much? And so this one here, the IL, the white IL, doesn't run. So I bought it not running, and everything is stock on this one. And I believe all it needs is a fuel pump. Cover it up here, but yeah, it actually, this car does not have a fuel pump in it, or it has a fuel pump. It doesn't have the fuel sending unit, which is what sits on top. Obviously, yeah, I need to clean out this car. Haven't really done much with it because it's been minus 30 here in up north pretty much all winter. So this one here, tucked away in the barn, covered by bird poop here. It's the only really spot we could put it. The yard's pretty full of cars, as you can see. So this one is kind of special because it has a manual swap in it. So the 735 didn't actually come with a manual. Like, there's no model with a manual. So this one is actually swapped in by the person I bought it from. And so far, it's working nice. I mean, I drove it into here. So it runs, it drives, but unfortunately, I'm going to be taking the sending unit out of this car, putting in the other one, trying to get that one safetied, because obviously this one's body needs a little bit of work here. There's quite considerable amount of rust around this car and just other stuff wrong with it. But yeah, the plan right now is to pretty much make this car a track car because it has a manual in it, and make the white one into an actual drivable on the road car. Today I'm pretty much going to be working on getting the fuel pump and the sending unit from this car into the IL, because it doesn't have one. So there's obviously a bit of junk in here. I'm going to need to take that out. Take the trunk liner out here, and the fuel pump sits about right there in the trunk, as you saw on the IL. The liner out here, kind of just, it's going back in the car, so I don't really need to put it anywhere. I didn't actually know this car had a spare. I will end up using that. I think that's a full tire there, not a donut of any kind. And there, right there, is a fuel pump. I should be able to just take off these. Looks like they're star head screwdrivers, and this top will come off, and then I will be able to get the fuel sending unit out, and then the fuel pump. Got the cover off. Wasn't too much of a big problem with the bolts. And the car's kind of old, so stuff is going to be rusty. As you can see here from some of this stuff is pretty rusty. But this here is a fuel sending unit. This goes into the tank. So I need to take off these two hoses. This electrical socket here. Obviously these bolts. And the fuel sending unit will come off. And also, some of you guys may be asking, well, why am I taking the fuel sending unit of this car if I want this car to run and not just get a new sending unit? These are almost impossible to find, and anywhere I have found them, they don't ship to Canada. So yeah, it's been kind of tricky. So when working on 30-year-old cars with bolts that look like this, make sure to spray them, because not worth your time to drill out bolts, especially into a gas tank, because that is not cool. Spray the bolts, they come out nice. See, they're all nice, no broken bolts, except this bolt right there is going to be annoying to get at. So I got a 10 mil wrench. I'll probably just slip it on there like that. And for this cord, I saw this on a video, actually, a little trick just to pull it back. And I'm going to wrap it around the wheel here. And then this cord won't be in the way when I pull the sending unit out. Gotten all the bolts out, but I had to do some engineering here. So either the gas tank shifted a little bit, or I don't know, maybe a manufacturing flaw or something, but I couldn't get a socket on this bolt here. As you can see, it's kind of halfway. So I had to cut a little notch in there and then bend this part up. It's pretty bendable. Like it's pretty thin metal. So I bent this up, got a socket on the bolt and a really thin extension kind of just to fit through this hole. And then I did get the bolt off because a wrench was just stripping it, because there's no really room for a wrench in here either. And then obviously took the hoses off and this clip, and I just clipped it through here. And then I'm gonna probably use this to pry the sending unit up. As you can see, it's kind of already, yeah, like it's just pretty much coming off. It shouldn't take much. Just got to make sure that no junk falls in the gas tank. Couldn't really get a video of getting the sending unit out and the fuel pump, which are connected. But yeah, I just pried it out, and then you kind of tilt it until you can get it out. And then there's two clips on the fuel pump. It's too dark in there, you can't see, but yeah. So fuel pump and sending unit are out, and I'm gonna make sure I cover up the gas tank, obviously, because I don't want gunk getting in there. So I just really simple. I'll just put a rag over, and then just set the kind of tray on top just to keep the rag down, and that should keep anything from getting in the fuel pump or in the fuel tank. It's actually a couple days after that first clip, but you can see most of the snow's melted, which is sick. So we got a bunch of snow, and so I kind of put it on hold, and now it's like +5 out and the snow's kind of melting ish. So yeah, I got the fuel pump out, and just a little overview of it. So I cleaned off the top a little bit. It was a little more rusty than that. It still doesn't look all that great, but yeah, that's what it looks like. It connects. This is the sending unit. This is the part I needed, actually, was this little plastic part. Was like $300, hence why I'm taking it out of the other car. And yeah, it goes in the same spot, obviously, because these are the same cars. So in that hole, I just uncovered it there. It was covered up. And yeah, it should go in nice with no problems. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm gonna start putting that in, and I'll update along the way. I got the fuel pump in, got it in the little slot. I pushed it down, it clicked. Make sure you hear that click. It's pretty obvious, you'll hear it. And then you just gotta twist this guy in there, kind of twist the hoses till this guy gets in there. Camera's about to die, but I'm gonna put on the bolts, and I'll probably end up checking back when it's pretty much done, because my camera dies. I'm just gonna finish. So I'm gonna put the bolts on, and then my cover and the gasket that goes around there, and then everything should be good. So we're back, fuel pump's in. As you can see, it's in. I got this the cover on, and just hooking up the battery. Yes, the battery's in the back seat. And I guess the last owner put 2 negatives in the car, but it's the negative that runs to that big old switch there. It's like a main power cutoff. So I'm gonna hook up the battery, and then we're gonna see if it starts. Priming the pump right now. So obviously I just put in a fuel pump, so I'm just turning the key and I can hear the fuel pump running, and then I'm gonna wait till it runs and then turn the car off, do it again, do that a couple times until you prime the fuel pump before you start the car. Alright, so I noticed yesterday when I was priming the pump that the gas light was on. The battery, I took the battery out obviously because it gets cold at night, but the gas light was on. So I got a jerry can, went to town, got 20 liters, and I just put the 20 liters in there. And so later when it's maybe not so cold, I'm gonna try and start it up. All right, moment of truth. Yes! I got it running! It is. It's running! What? Alright, so I'm just editing the video now here. Don't mind the broken headset. But I forgot to take a video of me kind of going through the engine and stuff. But that will be on the next video. I need to transfer a bunch of stuff over in the engine, just like air filter and a bunch of stuff that the car needs to run properly. So I just let it run there for like 5 minutes just to get the battery charged up, and then yeah, I'll probably be on the next video that you guys see. I'm gonna be doing some more work on it, air filter and just miscellaneous parts on the car.